Welcome to TOI Auto, and today we've got Mr. Vikram Pawah with us, who's the president of BMW Group India. And there is a lot of action happening at BMW, and of course, that is more than just the launch of the new X5. So today we are going to ask the man in charge about what the plans for the BMW India are and what can we expect from the brand in the coming year. So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Pawah.
Thank you, Garth. Lovely meeting you as well. Yeah. So yeah, BMW is always an exciting and dynamic brand. So of course we try to keep our customers excited with great launches. And I think this is our 12th car launch in this year. Right. We promised our customer we'll be launching 19 cars and 3 bikes. So now 12 cars and 2 bikes have been launched, and there's plenty of action still to happen with 7 cars and 1 more bike coming through in the year. But it's been an exciting first half, really. Must say, really exciting first half because we've broken some records. We've broken the record for the best ever monthly sales. We've broken the record of best ever quarterly sales. And we've also broken the record of best ever half yearly sales in this 2023 6 months. So I think great achievement. Could have been even more probably, because first 4 months for us was actually some supply constraints following in from end of 2022. So actually the supplies only resumed from May and June. So if I take May and June combined sales and compare it to last year, we've registered a growth of 32%. This is in the car segment, which includes our brand of BMW and Mini. And in Motorrad, for the first 6 months, we've grown by 50%. So yeah, all good. I think can't complain. But like I said, and now the supplies are back. It's going to be even better second half, more excitement, more news to deliver during the second half. Yeah.
So the growth that you mentioned, it has come across segments, and I was looking at the data. But what is that one standout segment for you, which has probably driven this growth?
So not one standout. That's the interesting thing about this first half, because we launched many fantastic products during the first half of 2023. Starting with our X1, which was a great launch. It's an entry-level SUV. We've seen a growth of 50% in X1, and that model alone is contributing to 20% of our sales now in the first half of 2023. Which is good. We have never seen that before, and we knew when we were launching this product that people will appreciate it. And what I can see from the customer profile that are taking an X1, 76% of our customers are actually migrating from non-premium. So it's their first premium car. Right. So I think everybody is given a big tick saying that X1 is a perfect first premium car because it has the space, it has the road presence, it has the technology in it, it has the operating system 8, which is with connected drive, so the latest technology in it, and also it's a very fuel efficient car. So I remember when we were launching it, there were a lot of comments and from some of the journalists saying that why did we choose these engines? Yes. And we chose it for a particular purpose because in India there's a balance of performance and fuel efficiency. And I think that's working beautifully well. People are valuing it, and with the migration upwards clearly shows this will expand the premium segment. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is what we call as a luxury class, cars which are above 1.5 crores. Right. And we launched fantastic models there as well. We launched the 7 and the i7. Mm-hmm. We said we will redefine luxury, which we have done. We launched the XM, which is a first luxurious SUV with the M format, purpose-built M format that we launched. So that's also doing well. And the X7, which has been in the market for some time, we launched the facelifted version this year. And that again, based on what we have been able to supply in the market, a fantastic growth. So if I look at these 4 models, 128% growth in the first half, which is phenomenal, right? Yeah, we have never seen that before. Again, the top end of the market, the high end of the market is growing fantastic. And also this segment also now contributes to almost 20% of our sales. So that's why I said it is not just one or the other. They continue to be at the entry level and the high end level or the luxury level, both are growing. And also our mid-size sedans like the 3 Grand Limousine continues to contribute 20% still. So all cylinders firing, if I call it that way.
Right. And this growth, like you mentioned a couple of times, the highest ever, or you're seeing for the first time the kind of growth, the percentage that you're getting. Is this largely driven by the models, or are you seeing a change in the market as well? Is it a combination of these things?
It's a combination of factors, of course, because all stars have to align for results to take place, right? It's not only one star that makes the difference. But of course, the models give a reason to people to make the purchase decision. Because if they see value in it, if they see rationale in it, which all of our new models do with the technology, with the space, with the road presence that we are launching now, I think from an Indian society perspective, they're absolutely perfect models. And I'll come to a few examples a bit later. But other factors that are influencing are the confidence in the economy. I think if you look at the global landscape, there's still a lot of uncertainty about Americas, Europe, a lot of other countries which we are not sure of how the next 18 months will pan out. From an Indian perspective, we know it is the decade of India. It's the century of India. So I think from that stems the confidence of being positive. And that positivity leads to more purchase decisions. That's one. I think, and the second main factor that is driving the change in the economy is the infrastructure. You've seen great roads being made. Gadkari Saab says always that 51 kilometers of road built every day, literally, right? Which is actually visible. That is a fact. I mean, every time I go to a town, I'm visiting after a couple of months, suddenly you see some new road network in that town. And with these kind of roads, take example of Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, right? Speed limit of 120 kilometers an hour. When you're driving on such highways, you want safer cars, you want bigger cars that you can enjoy. You will not buy a hatchback, a small one with small wheels. You want a car that is more safe, bigger, more space in there, bigger tires, bigger engine capacity so that you can actually enjoy that speed of 120 kilometers an hour. That also is driving that change. So these three factors combined are the drivers for change. And one of them is driven by us, which is the model lineup, because we are in midst of our, what I call as the biggest product offensive. Launching 19 cars and 3 bikes in 1 year is actually a big task. Every, literally, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we are launching a car, actually.
But, the growth, of course, there is a lot of growth coming in. But, if we look back more than a decade back, there were some projections for the luxury market in India. We haven't met those. So, what's the reason, according to you, that there's been a slowdown in that growth, and why haven't we reached there?
So, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Are we there where we should have been? No. But that's true for the entire industry as well. Okay. If you look at, go back to year 2000 when everybody started putting capacities into India, I think India should have crossed 5 million mark in total passenger vehicle sales by now. Right. I think we did 3.8 last year. Yes. So first thing is that we are behind in the overall total industry volume itself. And the premium also, I'm with you, I totally agree that it has not grown as a percentage. At best, it's been 1% of the total industry volume. And I think there's a lot of headroom there. Because if you look at countries like Malaysia, Thailand, they're sitting at 5% and 8%. And I think infrastructure was one of the key hurdles initially, and the suitable products. But I think both these things are changing now, we can see. Mm-hmm. And also after COVID, we have seen the mindset changing as well. We've started feeling that actually there is more value in life than just saving. It's time to have experiences, it's time to spend on ourselves. And I think that change with the new generation coming through as well. We are the youngest population in the world, right? What is that? 57% of our society is actually under 34 years. So that consumption is yet to come through. So for me, I think India is at that inflection point now. There's only growth from now onwards. It will grow at a pace. It won't be like an overnight wonder. It'll grow at a pace, but it'll be a longer term growth phase.
Right. And what is the kind of impact you're seeing in terms of pricing, the government policies, taxation? And recently also, again, there was this change in cess. So again, that's adding more to the cost of many vehicles, which will come under the new classification. So what is the impact you're seeing there?
I can't comment on the GST at the moment because I think it just came out, 2 days ago, and we have still not seen a notification. We're trying to get a clarification. But I'll make a general comment. Normally, you would like some stability of policy structures, right? Which is there. I think government is doing the right thing. Let's look at it. Example of electric vehicles or Make in India. I think that's absolutely right agenda. And I can vouch for the electric vehicles that, we are supporting the government in that agenda very well because we are the leaders, with electric vehicles in the premium space. We own 50% market share here. I think we're the first ones to declare we'll bring in every electric vehicle into India, even before the market started. And we still have the widest portfolio. We have 4 distinctive products in the market that we are supplying to our customers. That's the best option available in the industry, not even in the premium space. And we intend to increase that in the years to come. Because I think globally we'll have 12 electrified products, fully electrified products, we'll bring all of them into India over a period of time. So we tend to go ahead and have more and more penetration of electric. And I can give you an example of, similar to X5 is a, great success. It's an iconic model. We know that. The first generation X5, when it was launched, 4 generations ago, it was a kind of a segment defining product. It created a segment of SUVs in premium space. That you can have a SUV that's luxurious. That's how we created it. Similarly, the iX, which we launched, which is a full electric SUV. It's a non-compromise SUV. It's a full-size SUV, equivalent to a X5 actually, if you look at it in terms of space, in terms of comfort, absolutely the same, right? It has sustainability built into the car. It's got powerful engine. It's got a range which is suitable for India, over 450 kilometers range, which is absolutely suitable because what we've seen is customers drive on an average 45 kilometers a day. We provide a home charger to our customers or an office charger, so they don't have to depend on any public charging. They're purely self-sufficient in terms of charging their vehicle. And after delivering so many iX, you're getting fantastic feedback because what it does is it allows a customer to purchase an electric vehicle at almost same on-road cost, equivalent to a petrol, but have a running cost which is 40 to 50% lesser. And I think that works. That works in our economy, that works in our country, and that's why we're seeing iX as the best seller, and outselling all the EVs combined in premium space. That's the power of a product really, and that's what we are happy about, that we can create these trends, we can bring these fantastic products to India, and people appreciate it.
So within the EV space, you said you are now the leader, you have 50% market share there. So within the EV space, 12 models globally. By when do we see these models coming?
So there's normally a little bit of lag in between when it's launched globally, depending on availability, homologation. So we would say by 2026, we will have all those models into the country.
Okay. And by now, how many EVs have you delivered in India? What's the
overall would be over 800 EVs we've already delivered in India, which is, I think, nobody else has been able to do in this space till now. Yeah.
Right. And so you said the highest is coming from the SUV, yes. But the sedan, how much is that accounting for?
So overall portfolio between electric and ICE, the traditional engines, we have a 50-50 contribution. Okay. SUVs contribute 50%, sedans contribute 50%. Because we have equal offering. If you look at every price point, we have offering for sedan and offering for SUV. At the same time, yeah.
Coming to the new X5, can you tell us a bit about this segment as of now? How large is the segment and what is your expectation now with the X5? You said the X1, you already knew how it will perform. So what are your expectations?
Well, this is always a winner. X5 has been a very consistent winner, a consistently growing segment, a segment that is, a perfect thing for a family. Right. It has enough space if you have a larger family or if you're going on long trips. And you are in search for that big size SUV, full size SUV, it's a perfect choice. The new generation is actually even not a new generation, it's a facelift, but 4th generation facelift, but the facelift is much bigger than normally what we'll do. The exterior has changed, the lights have changed, the grille has changed, the rear has changed. It's a little bit more spacious, so dimensions have changed as well. And it has the latest operating system 8 as well, which gives you the features like connected drive and gesture controls and voice commands and personal assistance. So all those things that people are looking for these days. So I think this will do really well. I mean, X5 has always been around 10 to 12% of our portfolio, in terms of sales. I think it will grow. I think this will become that 4th pillar that we look for. So we spoke about X1, 3 Grand Limousine, which is a mid-size sedan. Then you have the luxury class. And I think X5 and the 6 Series as a combination is our 4th strong pillar that will happen.
And Vikram, in India, normally we see Indian buyers are not, known to be loyalists in terms of brand. With BMW, how are you seeing this brand loyalty? How well are you being able to retain customers? Someone, like you said, first time buying an X1. So what percentage of people are you retaining once they...
So I said 76% is actually people who are coming first time into the premium fold. But remember, these people migrate upwards as well. They buy an X3, they buy a 3 Series Grand Limousine next day. So over a period of time, they come on migrating upwards. We've seen that clearly. But also amongst that balance, 24% that are not first time premium buyer, majority of them are BMW fans. or BMW existing customers. And that gives us the confidence that, the product lineup that we are launching now, the existing customers are still returning back. There are a lot of existing X1 owners that actually purchased the new one that we saw in the initial sales. Also with the new 7 Series, a lot of existing 7 Series customers have actually purchased the new 7 Series. Although we have had a lot of conquest as well from the other brands, absolutely, because I had a couple of examples when I was attending a couple of events and people are, sitting in this car for the first time, and the first thing they do is pick up the phone and call up one of our competition dealers and say, sorry, I'm canceling my order because I just want this car. So that really excites that, when people get this joy, this fun out of, looking at this new car and it resonates with them. Right. The new 7 Series, the theater screen, the executive lounge, which is like a first-class cabin, right? The touch screens, the ambience, the lighting, and the grill, the iconic grill, which is lit up, illuminated at night. I mean, it's a head turner. People just want that car now. And unfortunately, I can't supply all of them now. So we have a waiting of 3 to 6 months for this car at the moment.
Right. Coming back to EVs for one question. Right now, I understand you sell like about 800 vehicles. So
since we launched EVs since last year.
So still a small number, but right now, what percentage of sales do they account for? And going forward, what kind of role do you see EVs playing in the growth of BMW India sale?
I see EVs as the mainly the growth drivers. Because what EV is doing is it's pulling people into this segment. Because I think EV has a different clientele. People who are keen to adopt new technologies, who want to send out the message of sustainability, but also do it in a very economical way. Right? So it's a great combination of doing the right things for the environment, but you also have some economic savings for yourself. So for us, at the moment, if I look at figures, what we had delivered in the first half of 2023, roughly 9% of our sales is EV. Now that's on the delivery side. But like I said, there's a little bit of waiting period for EVs at the moment, between 4 to 6 months. So the demand side is already 12%. I expect the demand to be around 15% by end of this year. And by 2025, I expect the demand for EVs for our portfolio, I can talk about it, will be 30%. Because we will have even more EVs available by that time.
Right. So, in a 5-year period or in a 7 to 10-year period, how much do you see the EV growing up to for BMW?
Like I said, 30% of our sales will come from EV by 2025. I can clearly see that. No, it depends on what the denominator is, like what is the total sales. I mean that we'll get to know as we get closer to there. But of course, they'll be more and more prominent. I think, especially in the premium space, I can see people adopting to EVs much quicker.
Okay. And on the two-wheeler side for BMW Motorrad, again, how are the indicators there? Because that's a
great success story year on year. I think we've grown by 40% year on year. We've shown that above 40%. And again, in the first half of 2023, we've grown by 50%. Okay. So we crossed 4,800 units of sales of motorcycles in the first half. And the great story is that 90% of the sales come from Make in India bikes, the one that we make with our collaborator partner TVS. So really, really proud of that those 3 bikes that we launched, 2 of them we launched in 2018. We were the first movers in that space, right, in 2018 with 310R and the 310GS. And then now in 2022, we launched the third format, which is the 310RR. All 3 bikes are doing fantastically well, great feedback from customers. And I think we still have a waiting of almost 1,500 bikes to be delivered in that segment. So great response. And I'm really happy that, as leaders who created the market, when people follow you, it makes you feel good. Right. Isn't it? That, as a leader, that's actually a sign of a leadership, that when people follow you into that territory, that means you are absolutely a leader. That's it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Going forward in this year, you said, of course, there are many launches still lined up. What's the next big thing we can expect?
Well, you got to wait for it, but basically there are going to be 7 more cars and 1 more bike. And yeah, some of them would be some surprises in there as well, for sure.
And Vikram, at one point of time, BMW India had the leadership spot. Is that spot in your vision in the medium to long?
Of course, leadership is always the objective, right? I mean, we are a global leader of premium cars, and we have been back to back for 2 years now. And I think in India also, of course, we want to be leaders, but we want to be in a sustainable way. And for me, sustainable way means that once we achieve it, we keep it forever. Okay, and that's why if you look at it, where are we focusing on? We are focusing on the growth areas, right? So we are leaders absolutely in the entry level cars at the moment. We are leaders with the BEV, which is again a growing segment. So both these segments are growing. And then now we're going to attain leadership in the luxury class as well. So once we secure all this, you'll see us achieving, while growing the market, becoming a leader, not in a small market now.
The 320 Grand Limousine, you said again 20% you're getting 20. Yeah. So it's been a success story. Clearly, I mean, people are loving that limousine, the long wheelbase. Do you see that expanding? Do you see scope for that even in other segments? I mean, one of your key rivals already has another success story in a larger segment there. So do you see the possibility of...
Well, we normally don't give any forward projection of the product launches, but yeah, of course, I mean, we always bring products that are suitable for India. And I think 3 Grand Limousine is a classical example that, you know, the kind of families that are buying it, even in smaller towns, you know, because 50% of our entire sales come from top 10 cities. But the balance 50% come from the next 100. So even the smaller towns, you know, they're appreciating so much because, again, bigger family sizes, need a little bit more space, a little bit longer driving distances, absolute comfort during office hours and during weekends as well. So, of course, we'll keep on looking at, you know, what kind of products we need to bring in for India. And I think we've proven that now, the 3 Grand Limousine with the X1, with the 7 Series, with the X7 and the XM. These are absolutely suitable products for India. So yes, we'll continue to provide even more suitable products for India.
And Mini, on the side of Mini, are you happy with the way Mini?
Yes, Mini is growing actually leaps and bounds now. I mean, year on year it's growing, and I think this year we'll have another record year for Mini. But more importantly, in Mini, what is happening is the adoption of electric is much faster. Because Mini is a trendy brand. It's a fashion brand, right? And that's the space where people adopt to the newest trend much earlier. So Mini Electric is already 14% of our sales, right? And it's the most affordable premium electric vehicle in the country. So absolutely a best choice, perfect for inner city running. Again, you get a private charging station along with every Mini, so you don't need to depend on anything. And I've seen people using it for their weekend coffee runs, you know, going in early in the morning, having a nice coffee or a breakfast or a brunch, and coming back nicely, driving in a beautiful weather. It's a beautiful car. It's an absolutely beautiful car. So I think you'll see a lot more people adopting to Mini now, you know, given the electric format.
And one last question, Vikram. You said you already have a lot of Make in India models, but now as you grow, as you add more volumes, do we see the scope of that Make in India expanding? Because right now a lot of them is assembly. So are you also looking at expanding work?
No, we already do. So 95% of what we sell in India is actually made in India with 50% local content. So we procure from local partners 50% of it, right? So it's not just assembly. Even our engine is actually locally manufactured for all our ICE engines, right? So that's the situation. Yes, as we expand the volume, our intention would be to make in India for India. We will continue doing that. We will continue adding more and more models, like we, you know, added the X7, we added the 7 Series again. So those models we will. I mean, XM is probably a niche model. You know, that's not something that you will add. So any mainstream selling model, we will produce in India for sure.
Right. And the M Division models, how are they doing? What percentage of sales are you getting from the sports division?
Again, a great success story. So M340i, which is the fastest car to be produced in India. So that's locally produced, right? Every time we create a production lot, it pre-sells. It has seen a growth of 232% for us, year on year, for the first half of 2023. So absolutely fantastic. Again, you know, clearly shows if you have the right product for the right clientele, you will have great sales. And I think this is a good example as well. So M contributes to overall around 6 to 8%, including the M340i for our sales. And I think that's quite sizable. And we continue to grow that with the M340i. We launched a couple of more models in that space in this next 6 months. And you'll see it more exciting after that. Yeah.
Brilliant. So there you have it, 7 more models, that is cars, and 1 motorcycle to come this year. So still a lot of action coming from BMW India in the year, and we'll look forward to that. I'm sure our viewers will also be looking forward to more models.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to welcoming them in our showrooms actually. So looking forward to that exciting times ahead for the next 6 months and even more fun from BMW now.